Welcome to the backseat of my car, where the divine downloads just happen to be happening. I dropped the children off at the trampoline park, and I wish to join them. However, I did not dress appropriately, and there were some messages, obvious things. Maybe not so obvious as some, but just messages that I would like to relay to the general public, and make of it what you will. Here it goes. So, let me just tune in for a second. Using my feels. Yeah. Getting into that feel-good place. There it is. Cool. So I get these crazy downloads on our divine nature, sensuality, sexuality, and I'm even uncomfortable saying that right now because I can feel you guys. Some of you are like, like there's glitches in the field when it comes to the expression of the verbalizing, which is another form of expression, in the intention of, in the engagement of sexual and sensual energy. And it blows my mind because nature doesn't judge itself for being sensual. Nature doesn't judge itself for sex. Nature doesn't judge itself for the reproductive energetic qualities that nature in and of itself is. And I want to say, like, in this specific way, that nature is always fucking. Like, that's just what's happening. And there's this design where there are the polarities, like in the entire universe, where there is positive and negative charges. And what happens when we have a positive and negative charge is there is, attraction or repulsion. So, because this is happening in nature and the universe at large, I don't know, it might be different in some other multidimensional, I don't know, okay? What I am observing through the observation of nature and the observation of myself and my life and my experience with masculine energy is that there is attraction and repulsion. And the practice of Tantra, what it means to me, is releasing any and all guilt, fear, shame, judgment that I might have about myself, about my sexual, sensual nature, releasing guilt, fear, shame, and judgment that I might have upon somebody else, and that sort of thing. So when we are relating to people, I feel like it's important to find confidence in our effortless, sensual nature, because that is the only way shit is going to be authentic. Because here's the thing, is as we circle and we come back to nature and stop trying so fucking hard to wear the mask, to be something in the world that we're conceptualizing ourselves, idealizing ourselves into being, rather than just being from a natural place, then we get really disappointed when our expectations are not met. And I'm just talking about, like, just of the self, not even putting anything on another person, but getting expectations of ourselves not met. I should be doing this, we should ourselves. And then we dissociate ourselves from the present moment so often because we are regretting the past. That's where regret lives, is in the past. And we are in fear mode and uncomfortability with the future, because we are often projecting ourselves into some potential future that hasn't even happened yet, because we're afraid of the unknown, and we're afraid of the future unknown because that's not happening yet. But what we're doing is we're totally taking ourselves out of this one now moment that is perpetually, infinitely happening at all times, and we're projecting ourselves into these other space-time dimensions, which we can do. And we do it more often than not because we don't think and believe that we are these astral beings. Like, we're so attached to like our physical body as like being what my senses see and what my eyes, what my ears perceive. And like this is just a biological spacesuit to operate in this dimensional realm. Why? We'll get to that later. But by being, this is why meditation is so fucking important right now, especially what the planets are doing, because wherever we put our focus and attention, wherever we place our focus and attention, that is what we're giving it energy. We are literally giving that gravity. So now is the most important time. Now is the most important time to practice the most powerful form of mind control, which is the power to control and focus one's own mind. Now, generally, I don't like to say control anything. I'm just saying we are becoming more aware on where the thinking thing is placing attention. And when we can say, hey, thinking thing, I'm going to give you something to do by placing my focus and attention on my breath or on the things that I like and that I love and that I do want to create. Because when we start to perpetuate ourselves into things like worry, doubt, fears, anxieties, old paradigms, belief systems, and things that are not ultimately serving us at the highest level, then we are perpetuating a reality that we don't necessarily want to create. I'm not even going to use the word necessarily. We don't want to create these realities. And we say that we don't want to create this, but by putting energy to it, by mentioning it, by giving it energy and awareness, that's exactly what we are doing, is we are creating that reality. So this is why it's really cool to come back to the present moment, because when we're present, then we can heal ourselves in these multidimensional levels. I can go back to my past self and be like, hey, past self, little girl, fucking love you. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be all right. So I can go back to any sort of trauma that I had, where I had like I had an associated emotional slip up where I felt like the world became unsafe at one point. So I can go there, reframe the situation, send myself love and light, whoever was involved, whatever, just like bring immense gratitude into that situation. And that's how we help it heal. But you pull these things up in the present moment to heal that. Or if I am wanting to create, so that's like healing past self stuff, so as not to be regretful or traumatized. And then, beep, 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 beep. And then for future self awareness stuff, we can pull ourselves, like we can sense into a highest potential destiny future. Not necessarily what I perceive, or I can even use my like wildest imagination. That's great. Like, let's go into wildest imagination, but like the feelings of satisfaction and bliss and pleasure of like having already achieved. Again, because this is only the now time. So this is how we become quantum creators or creatrices in our reality. So I've had some really profound experiences lately where I've been processing 7-year karmic cycle. I feel like I'm done with that. And that was a really amazing experience where I've had to get myself out of a situation and really just like jump off the ledge, like hoping the wings will open. And not only did they open, like I got wings, I got a skateboard, a parachute, and like the most magical situation, like because of trust, because and also maintaining the practice of trusting without worry, trusting moment to moment, trusting and enjoying my life, even though it looks like a shitstorm, where the shitstorm, that's just a matter of perspective. And so shifting my perspective to being like, oh, like the shit is actually glitter, and I can like look at it as like a glitter storm, like my life is just glittering, and it's not really my job to like make sense of everything, even though I'm real good. I am an achieved overanalyzer, and I love that shit, and sometimes I do it, and sometimes my analytical brain gets glitchy because there's just some things that are so rational that they're not rational, and I just gotta let the mind go. I gotta just like dissolve my ego and dissolve my mind into what is happening currently. And I can make up a story about my feelings, or I can just be like, oh, like there's a feeling. I don't need to assign a meaning to it or place it anywhere, but just allow it to feel through my uncomfortable moments, which I do have. My moon is in Cancer in the 8th house, and so there's a lot of feels. There's a lot of up and downs in my emotions, and so that's how why I started meditating, is to like combat the crazy. Not that I'm fighting up against anything, but just to embrace what is, to be more accepting with myself. And so I think that the reason why I'm so into this investigation of the nature of myself, the nature of nature, the nature of reality, the nature of truth, the nature of effortless, and especially the nature of our own sexual, sensual nature, and like having the microphone and saying like, hey everybody, I feel like we will be more healed if we can just embrace our nature and using our life force energy to heal, to manifest, to activate our consciousness, and to have more fuck yeah experiences in our lives, because I feel like the collective is we're holding it down through suppression and repression of a lot of it is like sexual angst, because it's just, we were born into this race, creed, color, culture, I believe, to kind of just transcend all the stuff that really doesn't work for our authentic beingness, and where we get into trouble, we're not going to call trouble, where we get stuck in our realities is where we have resistance, or where we have judgment, or where we have suppression or repression, because we're making ourselves wrong for just being ourselves. And I feel like it's time to fucking stop that shit, because because selfishly I would love to live in a world where people they felt so free to like speak their truth, to just speak it, and to be authentic, and to state what is, and to not be judged for that, and for them to not judge for themselves for that, or for them to be able to say what is without fearing like, oh, like I might make this person feel bad for stating my truth, or I might I might ruffle some feathers. But now, us hippie new ager types, like, fuck that shit. Like, we gotta stir the pot. Like, it's so important that the pot is to be stirred, because all the stuff is coagulating, and it needs to be like fucking broken up. And it's so fun, because triggers are amazing, because where we are triggered is where the healing happens. And so, like, think of Zen Master vibes. Like, Zen Master is just like, you can say fuck you or thank you, and he's just like, all right, like, cool. That's what it is, and there's no, like, you can't get him to react. And now I understand that we are all human beings doing our fucking best. And sometimes we're gonna snap. I get that. Totally chill. But what I'm saying is how important it is for us to cultivate the practice of awareness, of being Zen masters in our own reality and universe, and encouraging and empowering everybody to the fact that yes, you are that powerful to take control of your own nervous system, your own biology, your own mind, your own beingness, your own sexual nature, and to use your vessel to amplify love into the world. Because why else were we born? So amplifying love in the way that only you can. Only you can, in the way that only you can. You were gifted, the reason why you were born. So I believe that when we can connect with the reason why we were born, that's when the healing happens. That's when we start to become attuned to our nature, to who we are, is by not giving so many fucks about what do you think, what do you think, what do you think, but instead asking ourselves, oh shit, what do I think? What do I like? What do I want to do? And, you know, just kind of being all rock star about it. And that is when I believe we get into super attraction mode, as Shaman Durek would say. Super attraction mode. We become literally a magnet for all the fuck yes energy. And in that way, as well, through what I am going to start teaching more of for sure, and I'm teaching now, I'm teaching it now, is through our sexual, sensual energies, we can really start to begin the process of total amplification of the fuck yeah vibrations that we emit, because there is feedback in the field. So this is quantum field theory, which I really like. It's a theory, but I like to subscribe to it because my mind thinks it's great. Where whatever we're emitting is what comes back. So if essentially, here's the theory, is if I'm emitting fuck yes, whether it be through elation or seeing my friend or having an orgasm, whatever, I'm amplifying that healing fucking best ever energy into the field, but then I get more of that back. So eventually, like, I become so consistent in my fuck yeah vibration that the universe literally wants to mate with me, like literally bows before my very feet. Not that I need the ego like validation of that, with the universe doing exactly what I want, but it's not even about the I that is my person. It's about me serving the divine through serving the divine in myself. And so this is going on for a very long time. I've obviously there a lot of explaining today about like all of these subjects, but I just wanted to speak into what has been on my mind for some time now. And I want to take some questions, like, because the downloads are coming and I'm like, oh, like I'm gonna write and I'm gonna say this, and then I feel like there is more clarity when I can speak to a specific question that someone might have about something, because otherwise, like, this blah, 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 it's just coming through really fast. And so I feel like I would be more focused in that way. Anyway, if you made it through this whole video, I totally thank you. And peace and blessings, and total like divine bliss and love and fuck yeah energies to the whole entire cosmos at this point, and have the best day.